It's another time with Tutor.io in Justic Tutor, and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the continuation of the course POL312, and today we're going to be taking our bearing from where we stopped in our last class. And just like I said in our last class, we are going to see how we can look into how we can try as much as possible to call it a wrap for the course this week. And with the way things are going, we should be able to achieve that. So today I'm going to be talking about research paradigms, and for those of us who are new to the stream, let's ensure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and also endeavor to join the private class where you get value, a whole lot of value. We'll walk you through your courses or guiding you, preparing you towards your forthcoming exams. All you need to do, for those who might be interested in becoming a member of a private class, all you need to do is to reach out to us on our official website, which is www.tutor.io.net. Find the WhatsApp button in the top as of straight into today's class. All right. So we have that as that. Now, according to the course material, according to the thumbnail, we're going to be taking our bearing from research. Okay, all the things for this provider. I think we are good to go now. Now, when we talk about research paradigm, what are we simply referring to? All right, research okay. Now, speaking of which, research paradigm simply refer to the framework. All right, it refers to the fundamental framework. I think I just say the fundamental. Can we all hear me? Trying to adjust this. The fundamental framework or approach I think the network is pretty unstable. Are we together? It refers to the fundamental framework or approach guides how research is conducted. All right, it guides how research is conducted. Are we together? Within a particular discipline such as political science. Okay, how research is conducted within a particular discipline. A fundamental framework, all right, or approach. Now, this framework or approach, all right, determines how research is conducted, all right, that guides, okay, that guides how research is conducted in, all right, within, all right, are we together? So we have that as that. Research paradigms are different ontological and epistemological perspective. All right. You know, when we say ontological, we are intentional about the study of human nature, and epistemological, we are intentional about the use and the acquiring, the use and application, the acquiring and the application of knowledge. All right. So research paradigms are different ontological and epistemological perspective from which research approach, all right, from which researchers approaches, all right, or approach the study of politics. Now, two major research paradigms are dominant in political science. We have the positivists and the interpretative paradigm. The positivist and the interpretative paradigm. All right, we have the positivists. All right, the positivists and okay, the positivist and the interpretative paradigm. All right, so now let's talk about these two dominant approaches. Now, the positivist is modeled on method of natural science, molded on the method of natural science. It persists that all sciences, whether natural or social, should use the epistemology of empiricism, the knowledge of facts. All right, the knowledge of the knowledge acquired from being objective, The knowledge acquired from being intentional about gathering of facts through a systematic channel, through a systematic means. The use of, all right, whether it's natural or social science, you should be intentional about the research you are conducting using the word knowledge acquired from objective facts. All right, objectivity, you should be very objective, you should be factual, and you should arrive at your fact or your objectiveness through a proper, all right, systematic and intentional method that is verifiable. All right. Then we have the interpretive paradigm. The interpretive paradigm has its roots in what we refer to as what? Anthropology. All right. Anthropology. Anthropology. And when we talk about anthropology, it is the study of human society and cultures and their developments. Anthropology, unlike the positivist that has its own roots in natural science. All right, for the interpretative paradigm, it has its roots in what we refer to as the anthropology. And when we talk about anthropology, we said it is the study of human societies and culture and their development. Now, this paradigm does not seek an objective truth like the positivists does, all right, so much as to unravel pattern of subjective understanding. It is more on unraveling. It is not based on gathering, all right? It is not based on systematic gathering. It is based on flexible, all right, systematic approach in the unraveling of patterns of subjective understanding. It assumes that all versions of truth are shaped by viewers' perception, unlike the positivist. Your perception is not what counts. What counts is the facts. What counts are the evidence. What counts are the verifiable points, proofs. All right, but here it is more of your perception, what you think about a phenomenon. Are we together? So we have that as that. So very quickly, let's talk about okay. So quickly, let's talk about the strategies. All right, research style or strategies of reasoning. All right, research strategies of reasoning. They are basically, according to what we have here, there are two major research strategies or style of reasoning in the field of political science, and these are inductive and deductive. Remember, we talked about this in our last class. All right. Then we'll talk about inductive. All right. You are making your conclusion. You are doing your research. All right, with a specific statement, and then you are concluding with a general universal statement from a specific point of view. Then you begin to what? Expand. You begin to generalize. You begin to spread your wings. This is what we refer to as the inductive, all right, research strategy. You start from a particular point, then you begin to do what we call extensive research. You begin to expand until you are able to gather, you have been able to gather all the points you need to, all right, carry out your research work. So it says here, it's an inductive research strategy begins with a number of specific statements and conclude with a general or universal statement. All right, begins with a number of specific statements. All right, from specific to universal. From specific to universal. Now, when we have inductive, all right, we have that as inductive. Then deductive is just the opposite. All right, deductive basically is the opposite of inductive. All right. Now, when we talk about the deductive, like I said earlier, you start with an established theory. Now, you start with, all right, okay, just a moment. Now, just like I said, all right, here you start with A, all right, from universal to specific, from a general theory to a specific conclusion. So now let's take a step further. So we have the approaches to political inquiry. All right. Remember in our last class, yes, that was yesterday, we talked about political inquiry. So now, under inductive and deductive research style of reasoning, we are quickly going to be considering the approaches of political inquiry. Now, when we talk about the political inquiry, basically we have quite an handful of approaches. Now, to start with, we have the behavioral approach. All right, we have the behavioral approach. Okay, the behavioral approach. When we talk about the behavioral approach, I think I need to switch this real quickly. Let's see if it is. Okay, let's see that is better. Okay, I think it's not bad. So now, when we talk about behavioral approach under political inquiry, now behaviorists share a strong sense of dissatisfaction with the achievement of conventional political science. All right, with the achievement of conventional political science, especially the historical, philosophical, and descriptive institutional approaches. Now, the advent of behavioral approach signals the what? Absorption of scientific method into political science. Now, unlike, are we together? The institutional approach, which is more intentional about the use of institutions to carry out certain research as far as political science is concerned. Unlike the institutional or the philosophical or the historical approaches to political inquiry, the behavioral approach is very intentional with the use of scientific method. And anything that is scientific is intentional, systematic about steps upon steps, precept upon precept to arrive at a valid junction of action. Are we together? All right. So the behavioral approach is intentional about the use of scientific method in political science. All right. Use of scientific science, all right, scientific method in political science. Now, the institutional approach here focuses on, all right, institutional approach focuses on the construction and orientation of political, all right, that's the institutional approach. It focuses on the structure, all right, and the operation of political institutions, all right, that is the institutional, all right, intentional and deliberate about the structure, construction, construction, and operation of political institutions. Okay, so we have that as that. Now we talked about the approaches. There are also methods. All right, and for the methods of all right, methods in political inquiry, we have two major methods, which are experiment and observation. All right, methods of political and in political inquiry, we have experiment, all right, and we have observation. Now, experiment and observation as we have it. Students of politics, all right, rarely undertake experiments due to what? Complexity of political phenomenon, especially the lack of regular arising from indeterminacy and reactivity of political actors. Now, most analysis in political science are based on observation and not experimenting. All right, this is due to the lack of regularity, all right, from the end of political actors, which is your subject of research. All right, now, so the observation is advisable, reliable, and dependable, all right, when conducting a political research as compared to the experiment method. Now, it says here, there are three observation methods of political inquiry. We have a case study, the case study The case study, which is the first is known as a case study, and it is based on a single case observation. All right, single case observation. Are we together? The comparative method. Comparative method. This method, all right, comparative method is the analysis of number of cases. This is single case. Comparative is a small number. That means we have more than one case. All right, small number of cases entailing at least two observations. For comparative, then we have the survey method. All right, the survey method of inquiry in which information is gathered from large number of individuals called correspondents. All right, by having them respond to questions. All right, survey. We have a large number of people. You collect information from them. All right, call those large number of individuals correspondents. All right, so we have that as that. So very quickly, I want to talk about what it means by concept in political inquiry. All right, the meaning of concept in political inquiry. Concept in political inquiry. Now, when we talk about concept, it is a cognitive unit of meaning. A cognitive unit of meaning. Remember, this has to do with the way you think, your thinking ability, cognitive. All right, the cognitive unit of meaning. Now, an abstract idea or a mental symbol sometimes as a what? Unit of knowledge. Now, a concept typically is associated with corresponding representation. All right, this representation could be in form of a language, symbol, or single meaning of a term. Now, okay, this concept we are talking about in political inquiry has to do or is associated with what you can relate with. Associated easily, all right, what are easily corresponding with understood symbol or languages. All right, symbols or languages. So when we talk about concept, like I said earlier, it has a lot to do with your cognitive ability. All right, a cognitive unit of meaning. All right, this cognitive unit of meaning is associated with what are easily corresponding. All right, with understood symbols or languages, something you can easily comprehend, something you can relate and flow with. Are we together? So now we have theories of concept. Now there are prevailing theories in contemporary All right, philosophy. When we talk about contemporary, we're talking about recent, modern. All right, new. All right, contemporary philosophy, which attempts to explain the nature, all right, of concepts. Now, the representational theory of mind. What among these theories are the representational theory of mind. Now, this representational theory of mind proposes that concepts are mental representations. All right. Then we have the semantic theory, which holds that concepts are abstract. All right. Concepts mind. These theories are intentional about shedding more light into what it means by concept theory of, and we have semantic. Here, the theory of mind is of the opinion that concepts are mental representation. Like I said, it has a lot to do with your cognitive ability. Theory of mind says that as far as concepts are concerned, they are the representation. All right? They are the representation, all right, of your mental ability. So let's represent that with mental representations. Mental representations. Okay? While semantic is of the opinion that theories, all right, of concept has to do with abstract objects. All right, objects that are being extracted from a philosophy. All right, standing alone as you convert them into what you can relate with. So we have here the functions of theories in inquiry. Why do we have theories in political inquiry? Now they help to analyze. All right, they help to analyze. Also, scientists use theories to organize and coordinate existing knowledge. So, according to the first notion of theory, a set of related empirical generation, we have theory are used to what? Systemize. They are used to explain and organize an existing knowledge. All right? Explain, organize, and analyze. All right? Existing knowledge. So, we'll call it wrap here for today. Our time is really fast spent. We've taken too much of our time. We've taken the time of other classes already. So here we're going to be calling wrap today. And in our next class, we'll be taking it up from model. All right, we'll be talking about what it means by model as we'll be going through this together. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe you've been able to get something into this class. Please to keep our notes up to date and send them to the appropriate quarters. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now.